And we're back here with Gayeh. And what we left off was in Ironforge, and I have actually flown out here to one of the early questing levels for dwarves. And I believe goblins used to quest out here as well, but I'm thinking that, not goblins, what am I thinking? Gnomes, although the gnome questing area has changed a little bit, but I haven't run a gnome. I haven't run gnomes much ever, but I certainly have not recently. Alright, let's just look at this earth root real quick. Okay, it is possible that this earth root could do something for our herbalism. So we're going to go ahead and pick up, there was a lot of earth root around. We'll go ahead and pick that up before heading off, and we'll need it for alchemy anyway down the road. But what I had forgotten about during the last video was Don Moro, is that how you pronounce it? And it's that little zone just to the right of this one. And that, of course, is where dwarves go after they finish this first zone. And there's earth root everywhere. And we're getting points for a lot of it. It's great. These little guys won't even notice us. Maybe a future series might be leveling a cute little spunky gnome. I think if I was going to level a gnome, what I would do is probably create a gnome warlock, and I'm not going to think too much about that, because if I think too much about it, I'll just end up doing it before we get distracted from Gayeh, which I do not want to happen. I'm very attached to our young Gayeh. Okay, now I got to remember how to get out of this place. Now that we're down in the pit. Looks like it's back this way. So just all that earth root brought our herbalism up to 107, and we got a ton of earth root, which is great. This one may be up to a place where we can't reach from down here, and if it is, we may just forget about it. Okay. So let's see, we're going to be taking this road anyway, so we might go right by it in a minute, but welcome the newest member to the guild. More earth root. So we are in a really good alliance guild here on AIE, and of course Artrix and I came over to AIE with our mains on Horde side to hang out with folks from the instance, and just to have a really solid group of family-friendly players that range in their interests from raiding and PvP and to more just casual social leveling and such. So it seemed like a good fit, so we came on over. But we both are certainly alliance at heart, so we've created some alliance tunes here as well. I've got this one. I also have a paladin named 12 Piers that I've played a little bit. I've actually been tanking with, and but we were fortunate to find a really solid alliance guild as well, and it's been really nice. We're at the Northgate Outpost. And I don't remember, I don't think this heads directly into wetlands. I think this goes to, well, we're about to find out. Got level 9 beast here. Level 15 NPCs. Lock mode and North Gate Pass. There we go. So probably what would be smart here, so I'm assuming wetlands is to the north, but I think what would be worth our time is there's an herb, could still be beginner herbs, we'll get it just since it's right here. What would be worth our time is to go ahead and head down and get this flight point. I don't know that we will need to go to Badlands. We might, but if we do, it will be very fortuitous of us to already have this flight point unlocked. So of course this does connect to existing flight points we have, and now we'll just go ahead and head up to north of here and get to wetlands, as that's our goal. And I think I'll go ahead and queue us up. We're going to specifically queue for Stormwind Stockade as a healer and see what kind of wait time we're looking at. Very short. Alright, and then upon finishing this dungeon we will continue our journey to wetlands. Like a DPS missed out on the queue, or has so far. There it is.
Hello. Have a good one.
And one thing I did forget to do in all of our flying around, we had plenty of opportunities, was study up on the passives. Now I don't know that the passives at this point, at this low level, necessarily change a whole lot of what we're doing, but they could. So we have Ironforge Rep now. Very cool. And we will once again get to see Hager, which is also very exciting. Of course, don't expect to find any herbs, and not much to skin in here. That is awesome. Big old pool. Out of sight. Goodness. That was almost a disaster. Because I felt like I could see him in here, but it was giving me the target not in line of sight error, which was very scary. He has taken all kinds of damage. Here is the boss fight. Stay over here close to the door in case the DPS that has gotten a little bit of aggro out in the hallway needs help. Oh, we are using grid still, aren't we? I meant to be using the raid frames, but until we turn grid off, it'd be kind of annoying to have both. Such a fast dungeon run. One more wing and we finish the stockades. And there is Mr. Hager again. Hunter pulled Hogger into the fray. Stormwind stockades. Oh, there's a big upgrade. Get that shield upgraded. So now we turn the quest. This will hit 26. We can then finish our journey to wetlands.
Good day to you. Safe travels.
Earth shield. And Earthbind totem. Just don't imagine we're going to be using Earthbind totem very much. Guess if we're trying to get away in a pinch. Other than that, I don't see it happening much. All right. We're editing and saving one movie and creating another at the same time. Multitasking here. Alright. So did that open anything else up? Scarlet Halls. How fun is that? So probably next time we go, we may just do random. Again, we'll have Nomergon and Scarlet Halls for a while now. We'll probably do one or the other multiple, at least a second time, unless we start doing some questing. But they're both fine. I prefer Scarlet Halls, but I don't dislike Nomergon like I used to. It's not near as bad as it used to be. And you certainly get a lot of rep because there's so many little guys to kill in there. So at Ironforge, we're now pretty much even with Darnassus, so that caught us up with Darnassus just that one run using the Ironforge tabard. So let's get some flight points here. This little questing area. It'd be a low-level quest for us, but we could do it if we really just wanted to. But we're going to keep moving, get flight points, and then get up to probably go all the way up to Arathi and maybe even over to Hillsbrad. We'll see. Before we wrap this one up. So there is some bruiseweed way up there, or is it down below? Honestly, not too sure. And there definitely could be herbs in wetlands that will be, some of them will be able to level us up and some may not, but if we see any while we're getting these flight points, we'll grab them. So we're going to go all the way over to Menethil Harbor and pick up that flight point, and then all the way back up and get these flight points on the way north. So let's run a little. You know what? It's probably worth getting this one first. Oh, what level are these? 21. It's probably worth getting this flight point first, and then this one, and then this one, and then flying back to one of these to go up north. I think that's going to be a better use of our time. And though I have done it once or twice since Cataclysm and the big overhaul, I haven't spent a lot of time here. I think, again, if I ever create maybe a, still can't get Kingsfoot. If I ever create that gnome warlock that I'm thinking about in the back of my mind at this point, we may do a good bit of questing, just because I haven't experienced a lot of these quests out here, at least not that much. And that might be fun to do a series more focused on questing instead of just quite as much hopping from dungeon to dungeon. Alright, now we'll go straight over, watch for herbs, and pick up the next. So really, Wetlands is intended to get you to 25, which we're at 26. So there's not a lot of point to us questing here, but there is, ooh, Life Root is out of range too, so there is plenty of herbs here we could get. That requires 150. I actually think, though, we would get so many points in Hillsbrad Foothills right now that that's probably a more efficient place to pick herbs, but we'll see. See what we run into here in Wetlands. And now that we have all these flight points, we can go back and train in Ironforge or all the way back into Stormwind if we want, and then fly back out here without having to worry about it. I do like how they have these flight points set up. Man, back in my day, Wetlands was just a really big zone, and you didn't have a mount until 40. So you're just walking through this giant zone that only had, I honestly think there was one time at one point where, oh, the flight point's like right up here on the hill. I think there was one point where Wetlands may have just had one flight point in the whole zone. It could have had a second that I don't remember, but it certainly, I don't think it did, and it didn't have all of the flight points it has now. So let's just check and see where all our flight points connect to. So we can fly anywhere from where we are. So we have connecting flight points all over the place. I don't think we can get Wild Steel Bloom yet. So Wetlands really has some more advanced herbs. More like what we'll see, similar to what we'll see in Arathi Highlands, as that's also that's a 25 to 30 zone, but I think the herbs are somewhat similar. I don't know. I could be not remembering how high the herb requirement is in Arathi Highlands. There must be some overlap, though. I'm pretty sure there's still some things like Wild Steel Bloom and such in Arathi. There's a bruiseweed. And you know what? Not the end of the world if we have to skin some raptors here. Yeah, these are still yellow to us. So really not bad to spend our time doing that. And there's another herb right over here. $110 now. We're just gonna kill some raptors here for a minute. How does our shield look? I kind of honestly liked the look of our last shield. It was just so different. Kind of felt like it went with a shaman alright. This one's a big upgrade. And that's the only thing we got to upgrade. Skinning is now 160. Our little searing totem's doing some decent damage at this point. Boom, 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 fireball, fireball. Alright, so now these are green. So that was kind of perfect. We stayed with them long enough to get our skinning up just a little bit. Now we'll move on, and unless we have to fight some for an herb or something, we'll just keep on trucking now. Lots of raptors around. And Wetlands is full of things you can skin. Also has a pretty dense murloc population, which is always a little fun. Is that going to be Mage Royal? Yeah. Still will probably get something off Mage Royal. Balloon's at 111. Wanting to hit 125 to train. Would max out at 150. I believe I've got those numbers right. Yep. So we have to train before 150 or at 150. We don't want to waste potential points. Alright, so we'll get in here, then we'll fly right back to Welgar's Retreat and head northeast up to the very northern tip of Wetlands. Well, and it's too bad that we haven't gotten a little bit higher here, because here's an herbalism trainer. So we can remember that there's an herbalism trainer, easy access to him right here in the harbor in Wetlands. Pretty good quest here in Wetlands, and after the redo. I really honestly didn't care much for this zone before Cataclysm, but now it's not that bad. So we are at 130 gold. A lot of that gold has been from selling our leather on the auction house. And we'll probably sell cloth as well. That was a bigger fall than I realized. Life root, unless we've just hit the threshold, which I don't think we have. That's going to still be out of our range. Let's just make sure though. Yes. And over here we have life root as well. So we will continue on our path. So these are level 23 creatures. These are going to aggro pretty easily. And again, if we're looking for a place to quest, we are definitely in a good spot if we wanted to do that. Grave moss. We'll take it. What is chasing us? An ooze. remember this little place. There's some grave moss inside there as well. King's Blood still too far. Briarthorn is good though. Worth fighting a little bit to get the Briarthorn. There it is. $113 on herbalism. And one more flight point here in wetlands. Wasn't there something out here on the bridge that we used to jump, and I can't remember what it was, but there was something off to the left of the bridge, I think, that we would go from jump onto pillars and trying to get to a certain spot. I wish I could remember what that was. It's been a long time. Wasn't it right over there? Let's go at least look and see. No, it might be gone now. After Cataclysm. Not sure, honestly. Alright, so we're going to go get Refuge Point here. Probably see an herb or two on the way just to see if I'm right about if these are out of our range, or I think they will be, but I think they might be similar to some of what we were seeing in wetlands as well. And then if we want to get some herb picking done, we can head over to Hillsbrad. Alright, let's see, what is this? Life root, so we know that's out of our range. Let's see how far out it is. 150, so it's not too far. And these raptors are 28, that's a little scary. Especially since we're healing spec. We probably want to get a couple more levels before we even think about questing out here. But what I'm really wanting to do is just remember that we can go to Western Plaguelands at 35, which with heirloom gear on, and as we take breaks and build up rested XP, we'll be at 35 before we know it. Goldthorn, I'm sure that's out of range, and I don't remember what the requirement is there. So this is the only flight path in Arathi. Here at Refuge Point. There's an innkeeper here. Alright, now. And again, once we get to 35, we can probably go ahead and buy one of those cloaks so that we do have an occasional hearth back to Stormwind. Basically use it once a day. I think it's like an 8-hour cooldown on the one that we'll probably be able to afford. So once we do hit 35, if we are questing like in Western Plaguelands or up here, wherever, we can go ahead and set our Hearthstone wherever we're questing it, and then just use the Shroud to get back and forth to Stormwind as we want to or need to. Wild Steel Bloom. Now these are some dangerous parts over here in this area where we're going. Historically it was a contested area. Let's make sure King's Blood and Goldthorn. Historically it was a contested area, but there's some crazy things going on, and I want to say in Hillsbrad, and I want to say there might even be some PvP. I think we're going to aggro both of them here. And let's see if we live through this. Uh-oh. Earth Shield. Heal. Yikes. Okay. We made it. It's a bit scary. And there's some Mage Royal. Alright, so no flight points here. Look how dense some of these herbs are. Right next is some Briarthorn. Now we also could do some skinning. Some of the wildlife out here obviously is skinnable. But really I just want to get our herbalism to 125. And then we'll probably wrap this video up. We have flight points all the way back here, so whenever we want we can get back. Briarthorn and Mage Royal. We'll get Mage Royal first, and then we'll get Briarthorn. 116, 17, and possibly 118. Let's see how 23. See if that's yellow for us or if it's now green. Yeah, it's still yellow. These are some big bears. Big old bears. Wild horses. Dun Garak. 24 undead things around here. Wild griffin, more bears, wild horse. So 22 level gnolls.
It's too far away.
Can't believe we didn't aggro him. we aggroed 3. That couldn't have gone any worse, could it? Although with being able to heal, they're not quite strong enough to really pose too much of a threat. Just takes us a long time to kill them. $123. We'll probably just get those away from us and then just go back to it. As long as we get the points on these two, we will be able to train. I'm going to go ahead and Hearthstone back, head to Stormwind and train up and wrap this video up. Very nice. Oh wait, we didn't get it. Not very nice. That would have been unfortunate if we had taken off too fast there. And I think there is a frozen portion of this map that has little higher herbs in them. Not by a lot, just but a little bit. And that I think is actually an important spot that helps you sort of segue from one sort of category of herbs and your skill rating and get up to the next level. So we might take a little bit of time here just to at least explore it to see if I'm right about where it is, and see also if we're able to even grab the herbs that are offered there. So we're up to 125 now. Where are those snowy mountain tops? I thought they were up here. It is possible that I'm thinking of somewhere else. Briarthorn's now yellowed out. My goodness, this might not be where I was remembering. Look at all those wild horses. That's awesome. This may be some... maybe getting in some territory we don't want to be in here. Don't remember how the breakdown is. I must be really wrong about that, or at least where the location is. Oh, maybe this is it up here. Yeah, I bet it is. Alright, this is where I was thinking of, I do believe. Gallows Corner. Let's see what's in here and if we're able to pick it yet. 25 level ogres. And lots of them. I've probably only been here when I've been a little higher level and not had to worry about aggroing things. I don't think I've ever quested around this area. Alright, so here we go. Ruins of Alterac. So let's see what this is. Frozen herb. Actually, we can get that. We're gonna have to fight for it though. Frozen herb. A little bit of foreshadowing there to Wrath of the Lich King. Mercy, it is just not worth it. I think we wait here till, possibly wait to come back here till we've gotten a couple more levels, so we don't have to fight everything. We aggroed the spellcaster. Let's see if this one happens to be away from everyone. Yeah, it might be enough away. Look at all these. So tempting. So tempting, but so dangerous. Yeah, it's just, there's another two of them. Too good to pass up on. We'll hearth back in just a minute and finish this video up. Up to 132. $133. Very nice. Oh, mercy. Yeah. I just heard something in stealth. Get away from me. Alright, so we're at 134 now with our herbalism. Okay, so that takes us to Western Plaguelands. Is there a flight point right at the beginning, you know? There's no time like the present. Go ahead and pick up another flight point. Ooh, look at all these. Yikes. Worth it. Alright. We are making a lot of good progress today. Not just in getting a few levels, but also just doing a decent job at keeping up with professions, which with the rapid way you level these days, it's not always easy to do. And I suspect we will be returning at some point potentially to that place to get more frozen herbs. I think that is the easiest way to sort of bridge between those pockets where you can't quite get some types of herbs yet. Chillwind Camp. This is what we're looking for, folks. This is it. No quest to be had yet. We're not high enough level. But we now have the flight point, which is quite awesome. I don't actually want to repair right now. Alright, is there an inn right here? Yeah. But we really want to train our herbalism. So let's do this. Let's fly to Menthral Harbor. Ooh, that's a long way to go for that, though. Let's don't do that. That's a weird flight point. We will go to Stormwind to train, after all. That way we can put some stuff on the auction house and the bank one more time. People throwing their guild chests down right in the middle of the road. What has this world come to? I just want to make sure we go ahead and train herbalism and not forget, because we are at that point now where if we forget, we're within reach of maxing it out and not earning points anymore if we're not paying attention next time.
How are you? Can I help you?
Those are unique, but I bet you could get one and put it in your bank. I bet. Bet you could. There she is. Beautiful. Pretty good active market here on AIE, on Earthen Ring, and things sell relatively quick. You don't get any of the crazy prices like you do on some servers where there just aren't enough people providing mats for other folks that are wanting to level up professions, but you get a steady, solid price. And at this level, the amount of gold that we end up making based on the things that we do sell is totally worth it. Now, one thing, if we continue to make it back to the bank as often as we have recently, at some point it may be worth just putting this herb bag in our bank. And it may be sooner rather than later that we decide to do that. Alright, the last thing we're going to do before we sign off here with another completed Another completed video. Look, it's a fairy dragon. Alright, we want to check out the passives. Just making sure there aren't any abilities I've missed. I forget about Ghost Wolf. We need to be using that when we're picking herbs. Some of those quick herbs that are right next to each other. Alright. Here starts the passives. Healing spells increase the effectiveness of your healing spells 25%. Healing done by your water totem by an additional 50%, and the healing done by your healing rain by 100%. Heals you cast increase allies' maximum health by 10% of the ally of the amount healed, up to a maximum of 10% of their health. So we don't have a water totem yet. We also don't have healing rain yet. And the other passive we have, increase your mana pool by 400% and increase your chance to hit with lightning bolt, lava burst, hex, and flame shock by 15%. Very cool. Alright, as always, thanks for watching. This is going to wrap up another episode of Gayeh's story. And until next time, signing out.